Hello and welcome to the Collect Your Life Incorporated podcast. I am so glad you decided to join us today. I know it's been a minute, like literally over a month, but life, okay? Life has been going on out here in these streets. We had the holidays right after the last episode, and then just thrown into the new month. It's just been a lot. But we're back. We didn't go anywhere. We were still here. We were just working behind the scenes on our many different things that we have going on. I am your host, Janessa A. Henderson. I'm so glad you decided to join us on today. So this episode is Reflections of Me birthday edition because you'll be hearing this on my actual birthday. Like, your girl is another year old and older and wiser, and it's just a blessing. So this is just some of the lessons that I've learned in the last year, and maybe some that I've learned like throughout the years, but like for some reason some lessons I needed to repeat because I was inadvertently going backwards and I had to keep moving forward. So let's get into it. I'm glad you guys are still sticking and rocking with the Collect Your Life podcast. We're still going to be bi-weekly unless something happens like this last time. We just had a lot of commitments. Like, it was really busy. Like, December is busy. The holiday months are really busy. So we just really haven't had time to sit down and record a podcast. We also, if you remember, I'm a doctoral student too. So I was finishing up this first class of the dissertation, which I successfully completed. So pats on the back, clap, or whatever. But yeah, it's just a lot. So let's get into year 32, which is the year how old I was. I will be 33 when you hear this. So your girl's getting up there, and I'm not ashamed to say my age, and I'll get into that too. Anyway, so boom, 32 was, I'll just say, last birthday was different. Okay, it was my first birthday without my dad physically here. So it was kind of hard that whole, because December is just a lot for my family. Well, not saying a lot, but it is a lot because it's my birthday, Christmas, and then my dad's birthday. So we are usually celebrating all month anyway, or celebrating as a family. So with my dad being gone, it was like, okay. And like last year I was talking to my grief counselor, and she was like, only do what you want to do. That's for your birthday, that's for everything, because like it can bring up memories. So I was like, okay, I'm gonna do like I'm used to doing. I do self dates all the time. I've said it before on the podcast. So I'll take myself out, I'll get dressed, I'll get makeup, like all of that for myself. I started that because being so disappointed and let down. And somebody asked me, well, when did that happen? I was like, really? If we're being honest, like in past relationships, like just wasn't being taken out. It wasn't like a priority to date me. So I was like, I'm gonna date myself. So and I think that was really the key point in me keeping my sanity in some of those relationships, just saying. But anyway, so I take myself out. I was like, so I'm gonna take myself out on a self date on my birthday, yada yada yada. I had made a reservation for one. I still got a cake. Like, I had a whole bunch of people, because like I give my people cake. Like what y'all doing? Y'all need some cake? Or like, even when I overcook, which I do often, I be like, I got you some Tupperware of some food I cook. Like, because the people be ready for it. Okay, my people. So I was like, I'm gonna have my own plan, whatever, yada yada. I'm gonna go do this. So in the morning, I had brunch with my brother and my mom, and then that evening, I was like, and then COVID is still going around now, but it was like really rampant. So I was like, yeah, I don't want to have put anybody at risk, because I was just somewhere at a holiday thing that somebody possibly had it. So I was like, I don't want to get anybody sick, yada yada yada. I was trying to think of like whatever. So I go to the dinner, okay? Go to this nice restaurant in Memphis. I think that they have a couple in other places too, called Stony River. And Stony River is like my go-to self date. Like, and if you know Stony River, it's not cheap. So like it's my go-to self date. So I do those like sparingly, okay? If I'm doing that type of self date, because sometimes it may just be to the movies or whatever. So I go, y'all, on my birthday last year. I'm just gonna say it was depressing. Like, I was like, wait, and all my people were blowing me up, just texting me and like, how are you doing? And I was just like, okay, but I really wasn't okay. Like, I was like, and I told them afterward, like maybe in the new year, I was like, y'all, I'm not doing it again. I'm not doing a solo self date on my actual birthday night. Like, it felt so weird, y'all. It just felt like I had no friends, like nothing. But I know I do have friends, because everybody was like, we finna come crash. And I was like, nah, y'all good, before like it happened. And then when it happened, I was like, dang, I kind of wish I had told somebody, yeah, you can crash, come on, like, come on, crash it. Because I was just sitting there and I was like, on my birthday though. So that's a lesson that I learned, like, to, it's okay to try things out and not want them. Now, I'm always gonna say go on a self date, because that's not depressing. But on your birthday though, on your actual birthday, you want other people around you, to surround you. Well, for me, I do. So what I decided this year, I was like, okay, well, I'm gonna do my solo trip before my birthday, and then on my actual birthday, I'm gonna have my dinner with my people. So this year, I go on a solo trip. That was the best thing ever. Now, I've done a solo trip before. Highly recommend these two. But don't do it on your actual birthday, because it's kind of, like I said, it was kind of depressing last year without everything. So I literally had did this before my daughter was even, before I was ever pregnant. It was the same year that I got pregnant with her, but which is ironic. It was before I turned 30. Everything. I was still married at the time and everything. But it was, when I did it then, it was the best thing. This time, I made a whole new outlook. Like, a lot of transitions have changed. I have not taken a solo trip since that time. And that was like in 2018. I have a daughter now. I'm divorced. So many other transitions in my life. I'm past 30, So I'm like, let me see how this gonna go. When I say I got the rest, I really, when I go on a trip, when I go to places, I like to explore. But the purpose of this solo trip was to relax and rest. And when I say I did that, I did. And I was just like on the beach, like, cause I went to Florida. I was on the beach, and it was just so, even though it was like a little cold, but it wasn't like cold like it is at home. It was what I needed. I went to the beach. I went to the hot tub. Like, I just was listening to music, like talking to Jesus, like had talks with the Lord. It was just worshiping. It was a great experience for me. And I was like, I got to do this at least once a year, even if I'm going like just across the bridge, like, because I live in Memphis. Even if I go to West Memphis or somewhere, and like, or I do a stay location, whatever, I said I got to do that every year. It was so needed just to have that time, just to by myself, quiet, nobody ask me to do anything just in a different place. It was really much needed. So back to these lessons of 32. So after my birthday, of course, I celebrated my dad's birthday, um, his first birthday um, in heaven. So a lot of emotions were going on, and so but then I went into the new year, and I was like, we're gonna keep progressing in life and doing all this, and a lot of like the growth that happened, I know that it had to be God that did it, because like your girl was, when I look back on like just last year around this time, like how much I've grown in my grief journey in life as a woman, as a mother. Like I've on different perspectives, I've grown, learned so much. Like so just throughout the year, different things would come my way. And I know, like, I feel like this past year was a faith to faith year, a faith year, because that's what I've been doing, faith in it. Like, I ain't been faking it, but I've been faithing it. Like, God gonna do it. God gonna do it. God gonna do it. If He don't do it, and I'm not gonna say at times that I'm being transparent. I'm not gonna say at times that it did not get hard, that I did not want to throw in the towel, like, and be like, I can't do this. So, one time in particular, like, even I'm a minister of movement. If you don't know what that is, basically at church, um, I usher in the Holy Spirit through dance. So most people would call it like a liturgical dancer, praise dancer, but that's what I do. So, in that area, I felt really inadequate. Like because of so many years of doing it since I was a child, just the non-acceptance from some people. They're like, all right, that's cute or whatever, but then really walking into the purpose and the the meaning of it, and aligned with intercession, because that's what you're doing. It just, I really walked into the year like, thinking I was inadequate. So I was blessed to minister with so many amazing women at a live recording of one of my favorite intercessors. If I may say, one of my favorite. I really, yeah, but one of my favorite intercessors. I was able to do the live recording for Sade Martin, minister there, and even then I felt inadequate. I was like, am I really here? Like, somebody pinch me. Am I really doing this live, ministering at this live recording? Like, it was a great experience, but I feel like, and I know that experience propelled me to where I am now. So, through that, I grew a lot. Even from the time that we recorded back in April to now, I feel like I've grown so much, throughout many other things, you know, throughout many other things in life. And so anyway, that propelled me to where I am. And I feel like having that experience, really blessed me. Like, not only just being there in the midst of intercession and everything and all of that, all of us being on one accord, just the gift that God has given me. Like, knowing that, okay, God gave me this, and I gotta keep stewarding it well, steward my gift well, and keep making sure that I don't let fear cripple me. Um, and I know like being in the right place at the right time with the right people is important. Like, excuse me. Oh, sorry guys. Um, there has been some weather changes, so my life. So excuse me guys. But so basically just being in the right place around the right people, knowing the right people, it's really important. I say, and being connected to the right people. I say that because there were some connections that had to be severed before I could ever get to that point, you know, or even to where the point I am now. There was like in my spiritual journey, I had to cut and sever ties with people that were distorting my own spiritual growth. Like, and this happened in the year 32. It happened before actually, with, you know, major things, major separations and disseminations and everything. But in this year, like friendships and like whatever they were, you know, connections had to be severed. And it was like a keen sense of discernment has evolved in this year 32, I will say. A keener sense. Because I had the discernment, but it's like now, nope, that ain't gonna work. This, like somebody approach you, you know, because I'm the person that's not going to not speak to people, especially if it's a young man trying to showing interest. However, by a certain amount of time, which ain't too long after that initial talking, I'll be like, nope, it ain't it. It ain't it. Now, I will say, if we're going to go into that reflection, there was some I was bamboozled a couple times in my year of 32. And like stuff I never thought I would have been presented with happened. And I was like, wow, you know, like these people really came in my inbox and, you know, said all type of stuff. Like I had a guy and he was like, let's just be I would like to be friends. I said, okay, cool. And so clearly something was wrong with the young man, because after that he was like, you must don't want to be cool or something. I'm like, why? He was like, why the short response? Something to that nature. I'm like, this is what I'm really dealing with, y'all. Like this is what, you know, this is what I have to deal with. this I was really like, y'all, what am I doing? Am I on the show? But then to take the cake, I even had someone who was not available, who was in a whole committed relationship, try to pursue me and present to be something false and fake. And I didn't know they were in a committed relationship until after. But that whole situation, all of that blessed me to the point that I am now, I'll say. Like it happened for a reason. I was hurt because I thought that it was something real, you know, but it wasn't. And so I'm like, but what can I learn from this? Instead of me, like, of course, your girl cried, okay? Like, because I really thought, you know, you really thought you had found somebody that was worth whatever. And they were raggedy. So anyway, I just I learned though through this year of I learned more about my boundaries. I learned more to keep the boundary, especially within dating. Like, if I don't want to talk to you at that present time, I'm not. Firstly, I have to keep reminding the people and myself, like, and mostly myself, when I'm dating or whatever it is, I belong to God. Like, he's my husband. I'm single. I'm married to God. So you ain't important. Like, I ain't gotta, and I don't have to reach back out to you. I don't have to text back. Like, I used to be like that, and I'm still on that journey of learning that more. When people text me, I'm like, okay, let me hurry up and text them back, and then I'm like, no, I can wait. If I'm doing something busy, like if I'm in the middle of something busy, I don't have to text them right back. It's not a matter of life or death or anything of that nature. So I have to really get my mind together and be like, nope, you can't do it. Nope, get somebody else. So, and that, I will say, that is my mood for 33. Get somebody else. Get somebody else. That's my mood for 2023 and beyond. I don't know if y'all saw the viral TikTok of this older lady and I guess a young girl. She sounded young on the video. I don't remember seeing her face, but on the video she was like, in the store, she was like, excuse me, can you record me real quick? And the lady was like, get somebody else to do it. It's two people there. Like, that is my mood. Like, it's viral. I'm sure y'all have heard it. If you haven't, you don't even have a TikTok, I'm sure you've heard it. But that is my mood for 33 and beyond. Get somebody else to do it. I have to keep my boundaries. I have to keep my peace. And in the realms of get somebody else to do it, I'm keeping that. Even with my own family, it's like harder to do with family because you know them longer, but I still have to keep it. Like, nope, this is what I'm doing. Nope, I'm not doing that. Nope, I'm not. And what I've learned more so in 32 is it's okay to have a heartbreak or a down, maybe a bad day or something, but keep pushing through it. What I've learned is to lean and depend totally on God. It was so many times, many days, God stretched my faith throughout this past year. And I'm about to cry. But it caused me to get into a deeper place of intimacy with the Father. And it just really blessed my life. And I was like, God, you really out here godly, like you really, and it's like, as I went through each month of 32, as I went throughout each month, it was like something else that I had to conquer. Like, it got deeper and deeper. Like, okay, I'm getting deeper. And like spiritually, I'm growing. I'm just getting deeper. Like I feel like at one point I was tested on every side, y'all. Like professionally, personally, as a mom, in my education as a student, like in my business, like I was like, Jesus, Lord, have mercy. Financially, every which way, it was like slap. I was slap here, slap there, get a slap. Excuse me. Slap on one side, slap on the other, slap on this side, slap on that. I was slapped, okay? But the key to making it out of there for me was prayer, worship, time with the Father, silencing everything else, and getting in that time with Him. That's what kept my mind, okay? That's what kept my mind. I'm telling you guys, that's what kept me. And just knowing when to let go. In this past year, I'm knowing when to let go of people and things. That's even doctors. I had to let go of a neurologist because I was like, no, you're not a good fit for me, and you're not gonna talk to me crazy. Y'all, he talked to me crazy, and we'll maybe talk about that on another episode with Black women in health, in our health. But just letting y'all know, he talked to me crazy that I was gonna have to throw hands at the doctor's office. But then I thought about my child and how she need her mama. Okay, but for real though. So it's okay to let, doctors go, therapists go. I had to let different people go out of my life because you're no longer of service to me. And then when I'm in, I'm very sensitive to, I try to make myself sensitive to God's voice in the Holy Spirit. And so when you're not wanted, why would you continue to go to a place where you're not wanted, where you're not feeling welcome and everything? So that was, and I didn't realize I had to do that in the medical or in that vein of my life. I had to actually utilize that. Like I had been using it for like personal, but like in like the medical, I was like, oh, I gotta do this for this too. Like you not in tune with, you're not in alignment, in agreement with what the desires of my heart, because I know that my desires are lined up with Jesus, I'm good. If you make me feel like inadequate, or you make me feel like I'm a bother, or whatever to you, which is how I felt with a major separation that I had. One of the reasons, major separation that I had this year too. I was like, you know what? I could do bad by myself. Like, why am I sitting here moping over you? Because, baby, I'm good by myself. Like, what? You not running nothing. You know what I'm saying? Like, it was like, get somebody else to do it. And so I had to learn that it's okay to find the team and village for you. Like, that's what I've learned in this year. Like, so many other lessons spiritually, just really pruning. Like, God has been pruning. You know how they do a prune? I don't even eat prunes, but the pruning process is really intense. Like, I've been refined and pruned this whole 32. God was like, all right, let's put her in there like for real. Came in a grape and I'm coming out a prune. That's how I feel in this season. And that's a good thing, because what is left of me did not break. I didn't break. I didn't falter. Now, many times I may have wanted to quit. I ain't gonna lie and say that it was easy now, y'all. Like, I'm not gonna sit up here and tell y'all that, this year was easy. But it was easier because I had the right tools. I had the right people around me. And I know who my village is. Like, I know who to lean on. I know who to call on. And that's God first. Like, don't lean on nobody else. And that was what I was doing in the past. I was actually leaning on people, going to this person. And that wasn't, like, before I would go to God, but then I would go to the person first or try to fix it myself. And I was sabotaging my own progress and everything, because I'm going to everyone else first, then going to God. No, it's go to God first. Period. And that's it. Just leave it there. And so in this year, I have grown in so many areas of my life. I feel like I'm a better mom. I'm a better Janessa. I'm a better teacher. I'm a better person. I'm a better woman. I'm a better minister of movement. I said music. Minister of movement. I'm just a better intercessor. Like, I'm walking into continue to walk into the purpose that God has for me. My steps are already ordered, so I'm just keep walking with God. Like I don't know where I'm going, but I'm going with God. I'm doing whatever, however the pace in every step is with Him. And so that's what I've learned in 32. Like just to depend solely on Him. He has everything, like literally every detail. He cares about that, like, on my birthday I'm going to dinner. He cares that I don't want to drive, so he's gonna make a way for me not to drive, like give me an Uber or whatever the case may be. Like, God be God in out here. He cares about every infinite detail. He cares about my hair being done. He cares about everything, like if that's the desires of my heart. God cares about a bill that I've been praying for him to be paid or be erased, like for debt or whatever. God cares about that, and he has it all in control. And so this year literally has been faith to faith. Like, all right, I faith to do that. Okay, the Lord was like, okay, she did that. Let's go through here. Like, that's why I know this year has been a pruning process, a refining process for me. And I am forever grateful for the experience. I'm grateful to God for just being God. And I'm glad that he kept my mind and everything throughout this process, throughout this year. And I'm ecstatic to see what 33 has to bring. And that's what I was gonna say. I'm not afraid to share my age because like I said on the last episode, like just being my pure existence, coming into existence was a miracle. When I think about, and I'm gonna shout, okay? When I think about what the doctor said to my mama before she had me, and how that she would never have kids, and after so many DNCs and this and miscarriages and all this, she had 2 beautiful children who are still here today, past age 30. Okay. And I just think about that when I think about the time that I got diabetes, and I let it for 20 some years. It was, well, for not 20 years, but for a good amount of those 20 years, it was out of control. When I think about the time I was in a total accident where I was hit by an 18-wheeler and flipped upside down and landed in the median, and my car was totaled, but I walked away from the accident. I can't. When I think about the many times I was in another accident where I could have, anything could have happened. When I think about the time I had my daughter and I was on that table losing so much blood, when I think about when I was in a toxic situation, toxic relationship, and I could have lost my life. Like, it's when I start to think about everything that God has brought me through. When I think about, just going through grief and everything, and how it will not consume me, and trauma will not consume me. I think about all those things every time when a new situation comes up, and I'm like, okay, I'm gonna faith it through this, because God, you bless me through X, Y, and Z. Like, I have to, go back, check the records of God. Every record with me, he's always been faithful every time. And so all I have to do is trust him. So that's what I've learned in year 32, and I'm welcoming 33 with open arms, and I'm not ashamed that I'm 33, because I look good and I still get mistaken for a student sometimes. So, for a high school student at that. So, I could be some of these kids' sisters. So, I'm good. But I'm glad that you were able to listen to episode 16. We will have another episode. And I'm so glad you took the time out to join us. Please share this with someone that can maybe help them. And I hope this helped you as you're journeying through life and collecting your life.